And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out the 37.
Oh!
Wow, gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A push for the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Contact there entering turn 1.
Around goes the 9. Oh, he comes back up the track and he gets clobbered. Josiah picks it up into the air.
BTDY live here tonight. Martin Sports 175 at Texas Motor Speedway. 120 laps, race 6 out of 20. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, and alongside me is a little bit under the weather, Alec Martinez, but we're going to get through it together. We're doing it VSPEED live, BTDY network. I tell you what, man, Texas, the reconfiguration, we've already discussed it prior to coming live here. It's going to be single groove, and it's going to be tough.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a tough race to pass. Track position is going to mean everything tonight, and I'll tell you what, having the rookie Ronnie Osmer on the pole, he's in a really good spot to win his first career race in BTDY. We've talked about it here, and we talked about it. Texas, single groove, a lot. It's going to be really hard to make passes. You're going to want clean air. Clean air and track position are going to be the names of the game here tonight at Texas. And you never know who can come out. You never know what pit stops will be. Usually Texas tends to run green because obviously the lack of passing is definitely a thing. But I'm really interested to see here. Jeff Wright, points leader. He's starting 3rd. Keith Mayano, missed him last week. He's starting it off back again here. He's starting to 2nd. And then how can we forget the guy who's won the most races this year, starting 4th, David Shieldhouse. So we know he's been a force to be reckoned with here on these 1.5 miles. So I'm looking forward to a good show. I'm sure that these boys put on the best show they can here for Texas. It's going to be a good race. I know saving tires is going to be a huge thing for these cars and for these drivers, so I'm looking forward to seeing this race. You never know. We might expect a bad race, but who knows? These guys might put on a good show for us here tonight here. So we appreciate everybody tuning in, watching, and we'll go back to a quick commercial break. We'll come back here for the grid and then some racing in the Martin Sports 175.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey Street Fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
Back live with you here at BTDY. VSPEED going to bring you flag-to-flag coverage of the Martin Sports 175 here at Texas, and we're getting lined up down on pit road. And isn't that a beautiful sight? The staggered offset. Love the way that looks. We're going to go through your grid here and show you your top 10. And Ronnie Osmer going to start on the pole with a 30.499. Keith Mayato with a 30.5. So less than a thousandth of a second separating these guys. That's a close time. Second row going to be Jeff Wright in that 48 machine with David Shieldhouse in fourth. Fifth spot, Chris Simmerd. And then Seth Hatchell to his outside. Seventh position has Eric Hutton. And eighth, Brody Hayes. Ninth, Bentley Glaser and Yusuf Ghali is going to round out your top 10.
Starting in 11th, Reggie Ortega. 12th will be Ryan Gemmel. 13th will be Kyle McGarvey. 14th, Bailey Turner. 15th will be Kevin McGarvey. To his outside, Jeremiah Vincent. 17th will be Cody Atkins. To his outside will be Noah Mikowski. 19th will be the Daytona winner, Joshua Banks. And his teammate, Casey Lakatos, will be starting 20th.
21st position, Jordan Shepler in the 13, and then 7 of Nick Starling to his outside. 23rd, Max Cost, and then Dallas Sullivan, 25th. Pulling out on the track, Eric Lambert in 26th with Timmy Emanuele in 27th. Mark McFadden in 28th, Justin Carey 29th, Alan Dice in 30th position, and Zachary Smith in 31st. And then to round out your field, we've got Kyle Payne and Kevin Barrett. And that'll do it here. 33 cars going to start it out here tonight. And we were going to try to get a guy up here, but we
think
only
we
have
got
one lap.
They extended the caution, so
They extended the caution for us.
get these guys rolling out here and do one parade lap for the fans. Get the tires warmed up. And get these drivers all together here. So, let's see if I can pull him in here. Let's get Eric Hutton in the booth here. Eric Hutton, Alec Martinez, Bradley Cooper in the VSPEED booth. Got a copy?
I got you, driver.
Well, buddy, you're going to be rolling off here. 7th in that Cade Chevrolet Camaro. How we feeling for this race?
You know, I'm just hoping to maintain 7th. Not feeling too confident. I got about 2 laps of practice under me, so expecting nothing but okay things.
Heck yeah, man. Well, we wish you good luck tonight and go get them.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Have fun broadcasting this exciting race.
We will try, brother. Good luck tonight, brother.
Thanks.
Eric Hutton. So this is going to be a fun time here.
I sensed a little sarcasm there.
I
think he's not expecting great things.
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of these drivers are expecting this to be hard to pass. And you know what? It is. Texas Motor Speedway tends to be one of the harder tracks to pass. Not really a lot of grip in any outer lanes. So I would expect a little bit tougher to pass than most mile and a half will go to this year. And you know what? It's just a part of it here, and I think we're going to be in for. These guys will try to put on the best show they can. I know they will. But like we said, the name of the game today is going to be track position. You've got to hold the track position. And right now, Ronnie Osmer, he's starting in the best spot here. He's starting first. He's got clean air. Clean air is going to be the name of the game. And I just want to point out my pick. I think Keith Mayato starting to his outside. I think he's so good here. He'll know how to keep the tires under him, and I think that 36 will be in victory lane. Now, I got to ask you, who's your pick tonight, Bradley?
Going with the 87 to Bentley Glaser. He's been due for one. He's been in the top 5. You know, just bad luck for him. Had a great finish there at Phoenix. I look to him to get it done here tonight. I think that's a good pick.
I like that pick. I think that's going to be good tonight. We got 33 cars here to roll off here tonight for the Martin Sports 175. 120 laps on a mile and a half racetrack. Texas Motor Speedway. That's debuted in 1997, if I remember correctly. Unfortunately, took North Wilkesboro off the schedule. But you know what? North Wilkesboro is back. But the pace car will go off and make the hard left-hand turn to pit road. Ronnie Osmer and Keith Mayato will lead the field to green. The Martin Sports 175 is underway from the Lone Star State. BTDY live from Texas Motor Speedway.
Already some contact right there at the start of this, and the 55 gets moved up out of the way. We like to have audio there, and look at him fan out 4 wide down the backstretch.
4 wide, Oscar very loose, Hutton in the middle of 4. He'll back out. Last week's winner, Yusuf Ghali, gets 2 for 1 going into turn number 3. Off of turn 4, it looks like Jeff Wright in the 48 machine will lead lap 1, and it looks like Ronnie Osborne just got really loose on the bottom, especially Keith Mayato taking off that side force, and now Osborne goes from the pole all the way back to 9th in that dude-wide Chevrolet Camaro behind him, or I'm sorry, up in front of him, Yusuf Ghali, the first side-by-side battle with Seth Hatchell, the 2-time champion, Brody Hayes, and Eric Hutton here. That's a battle for the 6th position. Ghali gets it away from Hatchell.
You gotta take them while you can get them. You can tell these guys are eager on these fresh tires to get as many spots as they can, and unfortunately the 55 is gonna spin the tires going into turn 1. He falls all the way back to 9th position. We're working through the top 3. Keith Mayatu, your pick, and then David Shieldhouse moves from 4th up to 2nd. This all happens within 1 lap. That's how fast it can happen here in Texas.
Oh yeah, it happens quick. You can see here all the way single file until we get to the 10th position side by side with Ryan Gemmel and Reggie Ortega. That's for the 10th position. Ortega blowing by on the outside. Look at that, gets 1. Might get 2 from Ronnie Osborne in the 55. I think Osborne's even easy. Oh man, big slide out of the 2. Now Bailey Turner looking to take it 3 wide. Looks like Gemmel will go to cover that. Turner backs off. Up at the front, though, Yusuf Ghali gets by the 77 of Chris Samard. Now Eric Hutton trying to follow suit. Samard up the racetrack. You got to be careful here, going up so high and burning off what's even left of these tires. The right front tire seems like it's going to be the biggest concern tonight. You want to keep it cool. You want to keep it fresh. You want to not push it too hard, because we know when these cars get tight, they get tight.
And no warning signs when you come off of 4, and you've already seen a lot of these guys getting loose. They're putting a lot of wheel into that thing. You get out on that flat transition, and it'll get away from you really quick. And unfortunately, that's going to burn the right front off of it. After about 10 laps, this thing's going to be done.
Yes, it's very important to keep the tires under you. We might see a 30, 40 lap, or probably a 40 to 45 lap run, especially on these fuel tanks, maybe even on the just the tire life. You don't want to give up too much time, but you can see the battle on your screen with Bailey Turner, Reggie Ortega, Brian Gemmel. Man, he is really loose up there. But that's going to change as we go on through on this run as 5 laps go up onto the board. Now starting lap 6. Bailey Turner's doing a nice job keeping it down on that bottom, but I'll tell you what, a battle for 2nd position. David Shieldhouse, Yusuf Ghali, and Keith Mayato up on the outside. Good to have Keith Mayato back. And you might notice on your ticker, 2 big-name drivers not here tonight. Ben Baffert, who would be driving the 23 car. AJ Stravato, who is also not here, who would be driving the 33. Those 2 not here. Perfect opportunity for that red Vans Toyota Camry, and last week's winner, Yusuf Ghali, in points. Same with the leader, Jeff Wright. Those 2 were trailing behind Stravato and Baffert. Now these 2 are going to try to do their best to battle out for the points lead, and not only for the points lead, this race win. I also might need to point out that Yusuf Ghali, he is a Texas native here, hails outside of Houston, and now right here in Fort Worth, Texas. I think he considers it a home track here.
I think all 3, our top 3, all at least 1 win here under their belts.
I believe, yes.
At BTDY. So the competition is stout, and they're starting to pull away a little bit, about 0.4 of a second, separating 4th to 3rd position. And Jeff Wright has his hands full. David Shieldhouse all over the back bumper.
Shieldhouse is definitely starting to pressure Wright. Wright's got the clean air, and I know Wright loves to manage. He loves to play with the guys that he's racing with. We saw it at the Roval. Remember, he had the fastest car without a doubt. He would come back to 2nd, and then he would just go back and pull away, put another 2nd on the guys that he was chasing. I know Jeff Wright loves to just try to toy with the guy behind him, try to make him seem like he's getting time, and Wright's going to do his best to save tire, and then when he needs it, he'll put the burners on, and he'll be gone. Behind them, battle for 5th. Eric Hutton just got by the 77 of Chris Samard. Samard back to 6th, Hutton up to 5th.
Hutton's on the move, and he didn't come in here very confident, a little brush with the wall there, but he said we will expect okay things. Isn't that how he phrased it?
Yeah, he did. You know what? I think he's doing a little bit better than okay right now. He's up 2 spots, started 7th, he's up to 5th, so far things going, I would say, better than okay. I'd say they're going pretty good so far.
Yeah, to crack the top 5 in this competitive league, that's an accomplishment. And anybody in the top 10 right now, they want to hold on to it, but you have to go back pretty far here. Bailey Turner, he's just outside the top 10, fighting to the inside of Ryan Gemmel. And Gemmel is actually a little bit off the pace right now. I think he was started a little bit further ahead. Actually, no. Okay, so he started in 12th position. I felt like he started in the 8th spot. But there is a gap here between 10th and 9th position. It's starting to spread out.
Oh, man, Yusuf Ghali, David Shieldhouse going at it. Ghali up to 2nd, just got by the 20. And now back to the battle with Turner and Gimmel. They're still side by side. Turner finally gets the position behind here, but Gimmel shoots back up to the outside. And how about the 10 and Noah Mikulski? He seems like he's shown to be a top 10 driver every week. He was running almost inside the top 10. I think he was running inside the top 10 last week at Phoenix. This week, trying to get that 11th position away from Gimmel. Ortega gives him a little bit of an air push down into 1. And now he'll try to set his focus on Bailey Turner in the 24. But I'll tell you, Noah Mikulski is definitely becoming one of those drivers that he's always looking for a top 10 here. And, you know, he just needs things to fall his way. He might contend for a win here later this year.
Looking for my pick right now. It's not looking good for Glasser right now, or Glacier. He's kind of fallen off the pace a little bit, but you know, might be a product of let's figure out the track, let's figure out the weather, the tires, how everything's going to work out. Right now, my boy, he's fallen back to 14th. We'll see how it goes. I mean, there's a lot of laps left to go. 13 laps in the books out of 120, and Jeff Wright has led all 13 of them.
Yeah, it seems like a trend with Jeff Wright. When he won the Roll, I think he led all but like 2 laps. So he likes to dominate these races. And, you know, I can't remember the last time I seen him win on an oval. I know he's a heck of a road course racer. And maybe he could get that first oval. It'll be his first oval win in BTDY. And I'll tell you right now, Yusuf Ghali, David Shieldhouse, they're right starting to pull him. And Shieldhouse trying to get back around Ghali and seemed like he lost the nose in dirty air there off of turn 4. Just pushed up the racetrack a little bit too much. Wasn't able to really get the run. It looked like he was going to be able to build a run. He just couldn't do it. You'll see he'll go into turn 3. We got side-by-side battle for 10. How about Noah Mikulski in that AutoZone Ford Mustang up to 10? And I'll tell you, I think he's the only Ford up in the top 10 right now. So if you're a Blue Oval fan, finally got your car, or got a car in the top 10.
Yeah, I'm seeing nothing but Camaros up here.
The rest of the Chevys, Yusuf. Yeah, Ghali's the only Toyota up in the top 5. He's carrying the Toyota banner, and Mikulski carrying the Ford banner, and Jeff Wright carrying the Chevy banner right now. 8 of the 10 cars, Chevy Camaros.
I mean, I don't know if that's a popularity thing or if we could say the manufacturers. I know that in the past, iRacing has had some issues with manufacturers and
there's a lot of love for the bow ties.
Yeah, there's a lot of love for bow ties out here. Chevy's
Mikulski
doing really well.
Just got by Osmer, and I don't know if Osmer got the wall or lost momentum, but moved to 10. AutoZone car up in the 10. Osmer trying to fight back. Your pole sitter all the way back to the 10th position. Mikulski up into 9th in that 10 car. Osmer back down to 10th in the 55. And now Mikulski trying to set eyes on the guy who led the most laps last week but came up short. Brody Hayes in the 37 running in the 8th position.
Brody Hayes, he had a great run at Phoenix, and there were several instances where he had the opportunity to put that one in the bag. I mean, situationally, bagging the wall or maybe getting into a car is just, that's the product of what happens there, especially when you have a late caution.
Yes, definitely, and especially at Phoenix, we saw how wild the restarts were. Definitely a product of that racetrack, and I think Brody, one of the best short track racers here, and I think we got some short tracks in the chase where I think I could definitely see Brody being a factor, and he always is a factor. You just never know. As you can see, battle for 5th here. Eric Hutton under pressure from Chris Samard.
Your top 3 pretty much checked out here, and then Keith Mayato is in about 4 tenths off. He's in his own time zone. And then it's Eric Hutton, Chris Simard, and Seth Hatchell back to 7th. And looks like he's all over the back bumper of Hutton right now. Just can't find a place to pass. He gets to run off the corner, but there's nowhere to go.
Yeah, there really isn't. And I feel like the best way to set up a pass, get the run in turn 3, and then get it down underneath in turn 1. And then you'll see the perfect example of that was Noah Mikulski in the 10. He gets underneath Brody Hayes for the 8th position. How about that? I'll tell you, impressive run from Noah Mikulski. So far, looking at his best run and could be his best career finish in BTDY. And you can see he'll go underneath Brody Hayes for the 8th position. Hayes going to take it and pinch him down on the bottom, try to take that side force away, but just doesn't look like he has the grip on the outside. Move Mikulski finally clear up in the 8th.
Yeah, that 10 car is probably one of the only cars I'm seeing actually passing. The 55 who fell back a little bit, he's starting to work his way back up. He's into the top 10, but yeah, the 10 car, he's been picking them off one at a time. And 20 laps into this run, he's looking like a top 5 contender, no doubt.
Oh, absolutely. absolutely. He's got a lot of speed now. Hayes under pressure from the 55 of Osmer. He'll lose that spot, but now he'll try to get a diamond in the corner, try to build that run on. Bailey Turner now closing into the battle as well.
Side by side here, and Brody Hayes maybe stuck him on that outside. He's just trying to find a hole to get back down to the bottom and run his line again. In that dirty area, he got pushed up out, got passed by the 10. Now he's stuck on the outside. He's going to lose another position, maybe to the 24. Bailey Turner as they come off a turn 2, and Eric Hutton is loving that safer barrier. I've seen him brush that
I
about
tell
7
you,
times.
he's getting really close. He doesn't want to damage this car too much. We know aero is a big factor here, especially with how much on throttle time there is here. Now Chris Samard looking to the inside, peeking a fender. He'll pull him back down this front stretch. Now Samard underneath the 88 here for the 5th position. How about Chris Samard having himself a solid run? He's been needing one after some pretty bad finishes. Had some trouble at Iowa. I believe had some trouble at Phoenix, getting taken out early. So now having the run he needs to help himself in points, he'll go up into the 5th position. Hutton back down to 6th. Hatchell trying to pressure Hutton. Here comes that 10 and Noah Mikulski.
Mikulski is already up to the back of Seth Hatchell, and let's see where he picks and chooses his passing. He's got him sized up here, and it looks like maybe he's going to try it here in the entrance of 1 as he peeks down to the bottom, dives into the inside, and Seth Hatchell blocks him a little bit there. Maybe just a product of the line you have to run to go into 1.
Yes, got to be careful. He takes a lot shallower entry. He's got to be careful there. He's got to keep that nose clean. You don't want to damage anybody here. It's early. It's lap 120, or it's lap 20, or 23 of 120 lap race. Still a lot of time left to go. He seems like he has the pace. He's just got to be careful up here. A lot of these guys up here, they race aggressive, and Noah's just got to understand where he's at. I know it's lap 20. It's hard to pass, but he's gonna be a factor here. It looks like he's just got the speed in that 10 car. Like I said, he's the only one taking a shallow entry into turn 1 and 2. Everybody else getting a wide arc. He just seems to just getting down to the white line, paint it, and get such a nice run off.
Just wonder, though, how long is that going to last? And this track starts to rubber up, and the kind of the dynamic tire data takes over. How long can you drive it down in there like that before the right front's just had enough?
I think it just depends. This track's very, very interesting. This track's very sensitive. The tires don't really like a wide arc here. As you can see, Bentley Glazer, I think I almost brushed the wall, but you can see side by side here between Hutton and Hatchell here. This is for the 7th or 6th position. Hutton trying to pin him down on the bottom. Hatchell on the inside in that number 8 V-Speed Camaro. And Hutton.
Mikulski is going to see this. He's going to go to the inside and Hutton out.
Careful here. He backed out there, let Hutton get in line here. Clipped the apron there, and it looks like he knocked the car sideways a little bit, but yeah, it just depends. Your line this track is very line dependent, and sometimes these tires don't mind a shallow entry compared to a wide arc where you're trying to get a little more rubber off. And I'll tell you who's starting to struggle right now. That's the 37 of Brody Hayes. He's falling outside the top 10, lost the position to his teammate Ryan Gimmel, and now Reggie Ortega trying to capitalize on it as well. Look at this line of cars, about 10 cars within about a second and a half here.
Go over to the blimp camera. You can see the guys all running single file all the way around this track, and occasionally have the guy that dives down and tries to pick off a position, but for the most part, it's just been really quiet, single file racing. We have to go back almost to the 23rd. Well, I went a little too far.
Bailey
we had
Turner.
some passing right here. We had Reggie Ortega. Reggie Ortega is to the outside of Bentley Glazer, and man, I'm having troubles with names tonight. I tell you what.
Bentley Glazer having himself an all-right run. I think he's lost a few positions as Bailey Turner just got by the 55 of Ronnie Osmer, and in front of him, Noah Mikulski putting some pressure on the 88 of Eric Hutton. That 10 car, like I said, starting to find some speed here on this longer run. You'll see, look how much more of a shallow entry he takes into the corner. Hutton a much wider arc. Same for the car behind him, Bailey Turner. Turner trying to get that run off the corner. Just looks like Mikulski can kind of carry the momentum into the corner, and he carries it out of the corner. Just looks like he's better in 1 and 2 than he is in 3 and 4.
3 and 4 is really, I mean, by technicality, the same corner it was before the reconfiguration.
Yes.
They didn't really touch this corner. I know in the previous Texas, you could pretty much flat-foot it through there. I don't know how these B cars handle, but the truck, you could drive it wide open for a lot of laps. 1 and 2, it's just too flat. You can't do it anymore.
I think it's about the same here for these Xfinity cars. There's a lot of on-throttle time. You can't for sure flat out, but it's pretty on-throttle in the middle of 3 and 4. And behind them, it's like Gimmel just got by the 55 of Osmer. Osmer back down to the 11th position. Gimmel up inside the top 10 now. I'm trying to see, where did Gimmel start here?
Gimmel got 12th position, so
Oh,
he
he's up in the
hasn't
top 10,
lost
right?
anything. We were talking about him earlier, and he's just kind of sitting here in the top 10. He's not falling off the pace too bad, but he is picking them off one at a time. And you know what? That's what you got to do here. We're going to see this all race long. Guys are going to shuffle around, fall out of the top 10, come back later in the run. About 45 laps, though, I think, on fuel.
Yeah, and I think we'll start seeing guys trying to pit, and they'll probably come in and pit here pretty soon, within the next 15 laps. And I'll tell you, Jeff Wright has opened up almost a second lead over Yusuf Ghali and David Shieldhouse side by side now. Back for the 12th position, a little door banging going on between Reggie Ortega and Brody Hayes. This is for the 13th position. Ooh, Ortega's got to be careful. He's right on that quarter panel as they both drift up the track. Almost a little contact there, and that was probably a little bit of contact here. But it sent that 37 spinning going into turn one.
Ortega has kind of been one of those guys that takes one, loses one, and he's been back and forth close to the top 10 several times. Very, very loose early in this run. We saw him come off at turn 4. He looked like he was going to get a run, and then that thing was sideways. So he's probably nursing it back to health right now.
And this racetrack is very bumpy in the middle of 3 and 4 as well. I think that's one thing we forget here. Very bumpy. If you hit the bump in the middle of 3 and 4, it really pushes the car wide. As you can see, man, Ortega running Hayes up really wide here. And I'll tell you, the battle for the second position is also heating up. David Shieldhouse back to the back bumper of the 54 Ghali. And look at who's joined him. The 36 of Keith Mayato. A 3-car battle here for the second position. 3 cars under a blanket.
Just
Jeff
locked
Wright.
it up. Max Cost, I believe. Nope, it wasn't Cost. Somebody locked it up going down pit road. And I'm trying to figure out who that was.
Yeah, it's Kyle Payne. He's brought it down to pit road.
Yeah, he come down pit road sideways. Right side of that machine all tore up. We're going to go back and look at that real quickly. I just saw that out of the... Yeah, he tags the apron here, and man, did he lock that up to try to get it down pit road. Hits the commitment cone. Definitely going to have a speeding penalty for the 68.
Oh, and some damage to the left front now. Battle for second heating up. David Shieldhouse underneath Ghali. He'll get the position going into turn 1. Now Yusuf Ghali trying to fight back. Just doesn't look like he has the tire life anymore. Keith Mayato closing into this battle as well. Ghali, like I said, starting to fall off. Just doesn't seem like he has the pace anymore. Jeff Wright is a second and a half ahead of these guys, and slowly but surely pulling away inch by inch, lap by lap here. And Bailey Turner able to make a pass on Noah Mikulski for the 9th position or the 8th position. Now Turner setting his eyes on Eric Hutton. Hutton loose off of turn number 4. That allows Bailey Turner to get underneath the 88. What's going to happen here as they go into turn 1? Turner going to send it down to the inside.
24's got a better entry. He's kind of doing what the 10 car was doing and actually used it against him to get around him. We missed that just a moment ago. 24, Bailey Turner just, I mean, there's 2 guys right here, you're watching them in this frame that can get into turn 1 deeper and lower than anyone else right now on the track. And I think that's going to pay off. Eric Hutton looks like he's probably going to lose a spot here. He's fighting it bad off of 4.
And Ghali just got passed by the 36 of Mayato. Now Hutton goes down the block, but now Mikulski underneath him. This is going to be for the 8th position. Mikulski fighting that car here. It looks like he could get just so much better in turn 1 and 2 than he is in 3 and 4. Hutton just looks like he's struggling all over the racetrack. That back end sliding around. On a pass inside the top 5, it was for Keith Mayato getting by the 54 of Ghali. Ghali now back down to the 4th position. Chris Samard starting to go in as well, and it looks like Mikulski gets by Eric Hutton. Oh, there was some contact, and Hutton goes up the racetrack, and that allows Gemmel and Glazer to go by. Glazer now inside the top 10. Glazer now underneath Gemmel for 9 slides at the racetrack as Gemmel using him, taking that side force away, and that allows Hutton to close back into this battle. Chris Samard gets by Yusuf Ghali. He'll move up inside the top 5 up to 4th. Ghali back down to 5th. And Ghali's going to just lose some more time here. Side-by-side battle again. Glazer able to move up into the 9th position.
It's happening on both ends of the top 10, man. It's happening all over the place.
And Jeff Wright 2 seconds ahead of the field, but here comes some pressure for the 2nd position. David Shieldhouse under fire from Keith Mayato. Mayato getting a nice run off of turn number 2 here. Can he get down to the inside? He'll have a nice run. He'll look down to the inside on board with the Heartbeat Hot Sauce Company machine. And now there goes the VSPEED 36 down to the inside, side by side. Through 3 and 4, Shieldhouse is going to have to be very careful on that outside lane. You can see that car slides at the racetrack, hits the bumps, so he'll have to get out of the gas. Move the 36 of Mayato up to 2nd. Shieldhouse back down to third. And how about Chris Samard in the 77, closing in on Shieldhouse for third. And looks like we got some pit road action. Ronnie Osmer, oh, he's got a lot of damage.
Right side on that machine all tore up. And actually a lot of damage on the rear end, so I'm not sure what. I might have to go back and take a look and see what happened to him.
Hit by
Like he might have lost it. Yeah, he got damage from Reggie Ortega trying to come down
Ortega.
pit road.
Yeah, I think Ortega hit him. I
Little
don't.
clip there.
No damage there. No damage for anybody though, surprisingly. At least on the front ends of those cars. Bailey Turner going down pit road here. He might spark the pit cycle here for everybody inside the top 10. And like we said, track position very important. Yusuf Ghali brought it down to pit road. It looks like Gemmel in as well. David Shieldhouse is coming in right now. Eric Hutton pitting as well. Jeff Wright bringing it down pit road, your leader.
Yep, we force the hand, and Jeff Wright locks it up hard. He almost loses it.
Oh.
Coming to the outside of the 4 of Kevin Barrett.
Very
And that
fast
was
on pit road.
That was a very fast entry. I don't know if
Otto
he got a penalty.
on pit road as well. We'll find out here. See what race control says. Chris Samard, I believe, is going to lead his first lap of the season. Or sorry, he'll lead his first lap this year, or at least on a 1.5 miles. So that moves Chris Samard. He'll get a bonus point as well.
On and off pit road, your entire top 5 comes down all at the same time. The 48, who came in a little hot, we're going to see if he comes out
Oh, yeah,
back
he's
on
good. He
top.
can get
He's
it.
good to go, and there goes Jeff
Man.
Wright. He'll be back on point.
Oh, watch
The
out for the
36 of
lap right here.
Mayato beats the 20
Oh,
of
Shieldhouse
Shieldhouse
is
out.
going to get stuck behind the 4 of Barrett.
He's going to lose a little time on that.
Yeah, that's going to be unfortunate. Usually you don't have to deal with cars coming out of pit road, but it looks like you can see Shieldhouse stuck behind the 4 and now gives him a bump, trying to get by. He's stuck. Now here goes
Moves
the
up to
outside.
the
He lost.
outside there.
Yeah, he
I know
lost
he's
a
getting-
bunch of time.
He's frustrated with that. Now we got pit stops here. Bentley Glacier coming down pit road. I think this is just about going to cycle it out. We got Joshua Banks. Jeremiah Vincent's still out there on the track. There's a throwback paint scheme for you.
Yep. That's a nice looking throwback there.
Oh, man,
Oh, I
he's
think
down on the
Yusuf
bottom.
Ghali. Yusuf Ghali got some damage there. I'm not sure. He's going to have to take a lot of cars 3 wide. Yeah, Yusuf Ghali, I think, got squeezed into the wall. Yeah. By the 9 of Jeremiah Vincent.
They were shuffling around, and Vincent's just trying to find his way to pit road, and he's not going to do it this lap. But he's
struggling
getting
here.
past, and he hits the outside wall trying to get out of the way.
Man. That's going to
I'll tell you
allow a lot of guys to get by.
Here
Shieldhouse
comes
able to-
Lambert down pit road, and Scheffler's going to be probably the last car to stay out on the track. Vincent's going to have to come down pit road this time.
He's been passed by a lot of cars. So Chris Samard, Seth Hatchell stuck in traffic here trying to get around Barrett and Vincent. And I'll tell you, the battle from will be second on back. Looks like Shieldhouse stuck in traffic behind. He's lost some time to the 36. He's lost some time to the 54, who's just jumped him over the pit cycle. That has also allowed Bailey Turner to close up on the 20 as well.
Yusuf Ghali got a little bit of right side touch there on the wall, but it doesn't look like it's too damaged, and he's able to get up to what
Right.
would probably cycle out to be the 3rd
Yeah.
position.
It might hurt him a little bit, especially on the corners because of that lack of downforce on the right side. Now Shieldhouse looks down to his inside. Ghali gonna pinch him down in turn 3. I know they got older tires. They got to watch out for the lap car of Mark McFadden. That's gonna work to Shieldhouse's advantage. Let's see what happens here down the front stretch. Shieldhouse is gonna pin him behind the 99. Ghali's gonna lose 1. He might. Oh, Ghali's gonna send McFadden into the corner. He'll lose 2 spots.
Falls
What
back to
tactic there from-
about 7th position.
Oh.
I think the
There goes
99's
Turner.
just on older tires here.
He is, yeah. And McFadden did his best to stay out of the way. Now it's up to Turner to try to pressure Shieldhouse here. This will be the overall battle for 3rd. Ghali lost 2 positions there. And look at who's closing up on these guys as well. Noah Mikulski in the 10.
Kalski's
he's
been
got-
sleeping the whole race, and he's
Yeah.
got fresher tires than most everyone in front of him here.
And I think he's got fresher tires. Or all these guys have about the same amount of tires on their cars here. So pretty much everybody's cycling back to where they started here, at least entering the pit cycle. We know Shieldhouse lost a lot of time getting stuck behind the 4 of Kevin Barrett coming off of pit road, and that's allowed Bailey Turner, Yusuf Ghali, Noah Mikulski, and the 6 of Ryan Gemmel to all close up on this battle. Ooh, Ghali really loose out the corner, hits the apron. Here comes Mikulski up to his outside.
I don't know if that's going to work for Mikulski. He's been passing on the inside all race long. He's going to pinch down into one,
Awesome.
try to hold the 54, and he's going to have to back it off a little bit.
Yeah, he's just not going to be able to set up the run enough. And golly, is one tough customer to pass.
A little bit of front damage there, though, on the 54, and I'm seeing a little gap in the hood. He's going to have to stay tucked in behind the 24 Bailey Turner if he's going to have to carry speed and use that draft to his advantage.
Like I said, he made some contact with the wall trying to get by Jeremiah Vincent, who was leading and was on older tires. Golly was just trying to find, or Vincent was just trying to find a way to stay out. He drifted up the track when Golly ran up to him, and Golly just tapped the wall, as I believe Schepler now bringing it in pit road. He'll get a bonus point along with Jeremiah Vincent for leading laps. And now it looks like Schepler will bring it in, and that'll hand the lead off to Jeff Wright, who is now 4.2 seconds ahead of Keith Mayato, who was running second and will now retain the second position away from Schepler. And now that moves Schildhaus to third, Turner to fourth, and then Yusuf Ghali to fifth. Noah Mikulski up to sixth. How about Ryan Gemmel up in seventh as well?
Ryan Gemmel, he's been kind of flirting in and out of the top 10 and finds himself midway in the top 10 now. I don't know, man. It's just been a product. Like we said, they're going to shuffle back and forth, and hopefully Ryan can keep it up here. And I've seen Eric Hutton. He's kind of turned on the jets here at the start of the run.
And that allows Mikulski in the 10 to get around.
Oh,
boy. Yusuf throwing a
right
block. What is Mikulski going to do? I don't really know if he's, I don't mean this in a bad way, if he's never really raced with Yusuf Ghali this year. He may have been around him at Daytona. This is a completely different track than Daytona, and I'll tell you, I got to give a lot of props to Noah Mikulski. He's doing a phenomenal job today, running inside the top 10, running well inside the top 10, and showing like he's got podium pace. And I love that every weekend that we've been to, or every week that we've been to a different racetrack, we see somebody we don't expect to be up there and running well inside the top 10. Noah Mikulski has definitely been the guy today. We saw last week with Bentley Glazer, and I think we saw somewhere else where we didn't expect somebody to have as much speed as they did. I think it was at Iowa, and he ran up there well, and I can't remember his name, but he ran up well inside the top 10. So again, shout out to Mikulski, and if he can close it out here, get a top 10, a top 5, tremendous helping points.
Mikulski is going to be kind of falling back a little bit. I think his patience here is the key. I know that he's seeing Yusuf kind of slip up in times, and he's trying to capitalize on it. But you know, you got to make that mental note, talk to the mental crew chief, and just calm yourself down. That's an art.
These guys are ruthless up here. They are willing. We just saw it right there. We saw what Ghali was willing to do. He was willing to block Mikulski all the way down the apron. So these guys are aggressive. Like I said, they're ruthless. They don't really care who's around them. They're going to race them as hard as they possibly can. And we'll go back here. It looks like Seth Hatchell has made a pass on the 88 of Eric Hutton. Hatchell, the freshest tires inside the top 10. And same with Chris Samard. He's really starting to haul right now, and he's faster than everybody from the leader on down.
Yeah, Samard has actually turned the fastest lap that time by, and he gets around Eric Hutton. Going to go after Seth Hatchell now for the 8th position. Samard's kind of another guy that's been sleeping on us, and Noah Mikulski. I think that, like we talked about earlier in this race, my pick tonight, having a hard time. Your pick tonight, sitting in the 2nd position. Do we have a backup pick? Can I do that?
Sure. I mean, why not?
I don't know. I think Noah's, he's shown a lot of strength here tonight, and maybe not a win, but I think he's got a top 3 if he keeps it up.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, he's been doing a phenomenal job all day.
So through the field here, we got Jeff Wright, your leader right now. He's clocked out to about 3.9 seconds over Keith Mayato. And that's an eternity here at Texas. You can see how big that is. That's an entire front straightaway.
Yeah.
The 36 has to make up. David Schildhaus in the 3rd position, and he's kind of pulled away from Bailey Turner in 4th. So they are starting to spread in this top 3. Yusuf Ghali in the 5th position. Noah Mikulski in the 6th spot. He's looking strong. He's back up on the 54's bumper. Ryan Gemmel there in the 6th car in 7th spot. Seth Hatchell in 8th position. Chris Simmerd in 9th. And then Eric Hutton just holding on right now. He's, I mean, this is what
he's struggling.
He talked about it, yeah.
He's struggling a little bit here, but you know what? I'll tell you, most of this field is hoping for a caution. I think a lot of these guys are hoping and praying for a caution here.
Yeah, and it would put everybody kind of on an even playing field, get the field group back up. You're not chasing so much. And
Because right
that's
now,
another thing. You go
nobody's
through
touching
this
this guy.
psychological phase of chasing the car in front of you and not driving
Yeah.
this track, and you really have to drive this place.
You really do, and it's not in the sense that its track is hard to drive. I mean, every track is difficult, but it's the sense of that this track is so line dependent. As I tell you, we got a battle for the 5th position. Golly, another block on McCoskey, and the question is, when is McCoskey going to have enough of it and maybe move the 54 out of the way? That Ford Mustang very, very fast, and like we said, his strong suit's in 1 and 2. I mean, look at how much he closes up to the back bumper of the 54. He'll get that run, but it looks like he'll just air bubble push him away here. He has to back off there.
He sends him into 3, and I mean, you can do that too. You can get right up on the guy's bumper in the entrance of the corner and make him overshoot his entry. That's another, I guess, strategy. But yeah, like you said, the 10 car, he's showing a lot of patience right now, because I think after 2 or 3 blocks, you gotta wonder, when is he gonna move him?
I'll tell you who's honestly got the speed compared to everybody else and could get up to the 2nd or 3rd spot by the end of this run is Seth Hatchell in the 8th. Got tremendous speed. He's got fresh tires. Same with Chris Samard. Those two might move themselves up inside the podium here. One of these two at least, and not battling well inside the top 5. Hatchell and Samard, by far the fastest cars on the racetrack right now.
V-Speed on the hoods of those machines, and is it safe to say that V-Speed on all these cars, they're all teammates?
I would have to say yes, that's probably true, as McCoskey finally was able to force Golly to get loose into the corner. Just struggling in dirty air. It's just so hard to get a run, and you kind of got to move the air around that 54. Does he try to pack the air off a turn or in the middle of 3 and 4, because they're going fast enough where it might work. What I mean by pack the air is you want to get right behind somebody. You want to kind of get up to their back bumper. You don't want to hit them, but you want to just take the air off their spoiler, and then you just want to move them up the racetrack. And it's all with air. Get them loose, and then try to find a way to knock your way down to the inside here. And I'll tell you, like I said, McCoskey's been about the fastest car when it comes into 1 and 2. He's just got so much rotation. He's just able to carry such a nice run here. And now we got 2 lappers ahead of these guys. Max Costin of 63 and the 37 or the 39 of Timmy Emanuele. Right ahead of this could be a perfect spot for Golly to capitalize on Turner, or the opposite for McCoskey to capitalize on Golly here.
Yeah, there could be an opportunity, but it doesn't look like it's going to come to fruition, and Cost is going to get passed by this group. Seth Hatchell's going to navigate it. There's not a lot going on here in the top 10. I'm trying to find something going on. It looks like Brody Hayes kind of recovering as he catches up. Joshua Banks, and I think that was the guy you were talking about at Iowa. Joshua Banks was up there in that top 10.
Yeah.
And, yeah, just guys that you didn't expect, that we didn't mention there at the start of the season, out of nowhere. And, yeah, it was definitely Joshua Banks, now that I recall that.
Banks is used, to me, Banks is definitely a top 10 driver when it comes to those kinds of racetracks, short tracks. He showed it great speed last year on some of the short tracks, like Iowa. I think in the Cup car in the next gen was pretty fast early in the season that last year. And I'll tell you where we'll see Joshua Banks shine is Dover. Dover, he's so good at the Monster Mile. I remember there was one race with him. I think he won the race by like 18 seconds, and that was in the old Gen 6 car. He was so fast at Dover. Always had speed there, so I would look for him to have speed at Dover when we get down to the Monster Mile in, I believe, 4 weeks. So that's gonna be fun. I'll tell you, I can't wait. I know you won't. Unfortunately, you won't have me up here next week. I think you'll have Mr. V-Speed out of Baker. We'll be back up in the booth next week.
Where are you going to be?
I'm gonna be on the racetrack next week
Oh,
at
boy.
Pocono Raceway. We'll be the Project 51 car, I believe, is coming out next week.
Right.
At Pocono. I love me some Pocono, and hopefully looking forward to racing with these guys next week. I don't know if we'll be racing next week, but I think I'm looking for a top 10. I think we can have enough speed for a top 10 and be able to race with these guys. It's been a while.
So I was watching, and it looked like there for a minute, Keith Mayato was losing some ground to Shieldhouse, and it's kind of went back and forth between 0.2, 0.3 of a second. But, yeah, this is kind of went stagnant. I was looking to maybe there was going to be a run. Bailey Turner pulled away from Yusuf Ghali.
The train is beginning back here.
Yep.
From Turner on down, you can see Ghali, Mikowski as he hits the apron. That should allow Seth Hatchell to get quite a nice run here. Same with Chris Samard. I tell you, Chris Samard having himself a phenomenal evening. He's been needing one of these races, and he's got top 5 speed. I know it's going to be a while to work his way up through the field, and I'm sure we'll probably see these guys start pitting here in the next 15 to probably 20 to 25 laps, anywhere from that range. But shout out to Chris Samard. He's having himself a nice run. And of course, the 2-time champion, Seth Hatchell, showing some speed.
And a shout out to Eric Gallion in the chat. He says, look how clean this league has become. Back in my day, we wrecked each other like men. So that goes to show you right now, we've ran 66 laps here at Texas. Jeff Wright has led the vast majority of them tonight. 57 laps led, and he is 3.7 seconds ahead of your second place driver, Keith Mayato. Coming up on that second round, we're about halfway through this stint, and it's becoming more and more obvious that Jeff Wright is just doing it a little bit better than everybody else tonight.
Yeah, he's looking like the car to beat. I know there's one thing he's not wanting to see, and that's definitely a caution. I don't think he's going to want to see a caution.
Yeah,
but
we
man,
don't
shout
want
out
a
to
dandelion flag. We don't want that dandelion flag coming out. No yellows here.
That's crazy.
Everybody who's second place back wants one right now.
Oh yeah,
I can
they
guarantee
want
that.
it. Man, it's crazy. The last two Cup races. I mean, I don't know if you've been watching, or I know if we have anybody else watching. The last two winners, or the last two guys that should have won didn't even get a chance at winning and they looked like they were gone. They were 5-6 seconds ahead of the field, and then we got that late race caution. I know Jeff Wright's definitely hoping that doesn't happen, where he might have to deal with some guys taking 2 tires or have to deal with restarts at the end of this thing. We know that those can get crazy, especially here at Texas Motor Speedway, where heck, I've seen it where a lot of guys get into each other and wreck each other, and you can see these guys finally battling at it again. Yusuf Ghali, Noah Mikulski, Seth Hatchell, Chris Samar, Bailey Turner. Turner lost some ground to the 54 and the 10. These guys all gathering back up, bunching up again. Like I said, it just seems like they're just stuck in an air bubble. There's really nowhere to go. The dirty air just looks like it's very hard to overcome. You need the guy ahead of you to make a mistake, and you need to get a perfect enough, or just a good enough run to get underneath.
Yeah, I would equate this to flying an airplane in the wrong direction through the jet stream. That's essentially what it is. As soon as you step out of line, your run pretty much becomes stagnant. You can't go anywhere. And look right here on the bumper, as we say that, Noah Mikulski putting the pressure on Yusuf Ghali. Really, I mean, he's trying to do that air push that you're talking about, but there he goes. He loses ground. He's got to have that cushion, and Seth Hatchell now on the bumper.
And there's the perfect example of a mistake. You can see Mikulski was able to get the run, but he just loses the nose in dirty air going into turn 3. And like we said, Texas is such an aero-dependent racetrack. It's a track where dirty air is, it hurts you so much no matter what kind of fresh tires. I mean, look how long it's taken Hatcher to finally catch these guys and pass one of them. It's taken him about 20 laps, and Mikulski's finding him hard here. His Hatcher just having the apron. Should be able to clear up, and Mikulski put in here to nice fight, but here comes Chris Samar.
That's a good run. That's a good run there by Mikulski off of the 4. I haven't seen that out of anybody yet tonight.
I just don't think it's going to stick in 1 and 2. There's just no grip up there, and like I said, Texas Motor Speedway, it's a racetrack, and it's just got a track with no grip. And I think Yusuf Ghali's going to start worrying here because now he's got 2 cars with fresher tires.
Yusuf Ghali got about 31 laps on his stint. Seth Hatchell's got 29. 30 laps on the leaders. The top 4 are all pretty much on the same position on tires, but 2-lap difference. That's all it takes.
That's all it takes here.
Mikulski's going to lose another position to the 77 of Samard, and I mean the speed's kind of worn off. I think the track's rubbered up enough though. And maybe that bottom entry into 1.
Got some good speed in that car still. He's just these cars behind, or the cars that just passed him, have a little more speed and they have a little bit fresher tires. So that definitely helps. And I tell you, I think Mikulski can learn something from one of these 2. These guys have been, looks like, the fastest cars. They were the fastest cars on the longer last week, or this last past run. It seemed like all the VSPEED cars had speed on the longer run. But I mean, I don't think anybody has the pace that the 48 of Jeff Wright has. And talk about dominance so far, man. Jeff Wright in his own zip code, 4 seconds ahead of Keith Mayato. Just dominant performance so far by the 48 team. And like I said, I don't think if this race goes green, which I think we talked about in the pre-race, this race tends to go green. There's an occasional caution that pops up every now and then, but it just seems like that 48 is going to be hard to touch today.
Yeah, I mean, probably capitalize on a mistake, maybe on pit road, something detrimental happened with a lap car. It's about the only shot some of these guys have right now. 4.1 seconds ahead. That's a long haul. Look back, no one.
Yeah, look at that. It's a beautiful sight. That is a beautiful sight to see in your mirror. Not a car in sight. I think if you look out his front windshield, there's nobody ahead of him either. So Yeah,
He's
there's got some
got some
lap
lap traffic, but yeah, he's really in a good position. He can run his own line. He can pick these guys off if he gets to them. Jeff Wright just sitting in the right position. I've made that joke so many times.
He's doing it.
Just I can't help it. But yeah, 48 looking good here tonight. Keith Mayatu, 4 seconds back, and we still got some green flag pit stops. David Shieldhouse kind of went stagnant here, about 0.5 of a second back. Bailey Turner 4th position, and then Yusuf Ghali in that 5th spot. And I mean, Yusuf he got away. He did get away from Seth Hatchell. He has a pick between them now.
It's because the lap car, oh my gosh, look at the speed the tires have. And I think that's why Mark McFadden kind of got in the, oh, there's contact!
That was close.
Oh, and that right front fender might be pushed in on the 54 there. And that might have been a little shot. I don't know if you remember earlier. Remember Yusuf sent the 99 into the corner?
Yeah, he didn't leave many room off the corner.
Might have been a little bit of little payback there.
Yeah.
And I think that might have caused a little bit of a wrinkle in the fender there on the 54.
You know what I find amazing is the short-term memory a race car driver has on the track, but a wife could ask you to take the trash out and you'll forget. I've never, it's a mystery to me.
The long-term memory that a lot of race car drivers have. I mean,
yeah.
Heck, you talk about, I mean, if you look at this past weekend, Ross Chastain and Denny Hamlin going at it at Phoenix.
Oh,
Hamlin said,
that's forever.
Oh, no, it seems like this is a rivalry that's going to go on forever, and I don't know if you heard, Hamlin said on his podcast, he goes, I made sure he was going with me. He goes, I knew I was going to lose positions. He said, and I was taking Ross with me. So these guys definitely don't forget. And the Hamlin-Chastain rivalry seems like it's going to be something we're going to have to look forward to every year until probably Denny hangs it up for good. But it seems like Yusuf Ghali, the pressure from Seth Hatchell and Chris Amard will probably follow suit here.
The smart move though by Yusuf, and he actually, boy, there's a contact again, and I said it was a smart move by the 54, and he almost loses it.
Oh, Bailey Turner almost spinning into pit road. Ooh, man, that was a little fast going into pit road for Bailey Turner. But now it looks like Yusuf Ghali even more damage.
Yeah, rear end of that machine got a ton of damage. We're going to go back and look at that on the replay screen real quick, because that one was a handful. So here they come off of 4, and I was just saying this move because he moved to the bottom. I thought he was just moving down to give the 8 the outside because you know that it's going to be hard to pass. But he was actually coming down pit road, gets tagged in the bumper, and then gets almost tagged again by the 10 of Mikowski, and he's locking him apart. The 24 is locking him apart. I think the 24 might have got a penalty.
I don't think he did. I think he might have just skimmed by because he's exiting pit road ahead of the 54 of Ghali, and that moves them back down to 24th and 25th, currently 1 lap down. We saw what happened last week with the caution during the pit cycle. Jeff Wright definitely going to hope a caution doesn't come out as he'll bring it into pit road.
Oh, boy.
Hot on the brakes, but I think he'll be fine. And Keith Mayatu will finally lead his first lap of the night.
Hatchell also going to stay out there with Mayatu and Simard. These guys all on the same strategy. I think they're just kind of, they saw what happened last time. 1 lap difference on tires made a huge difference.
Shieldhouse in as well in the 20. Following Keith Mayatu here. Following Jeff Wright. Looks like Chris Simard bringing it into pit road.
Kowski's in pit road, and a little right side damage on that 10 car.
Ooh, interesting. You get Seth Hatchell bringing it in. I think Keith Mayatu keeps it out on the racetrack. Hatchell brings it in. Chris Simard brings it in as well. Banks stays out. So does, I think the 6 brought it in. Lakatis stays out. So if you guys try, I think Keith Mayatu maybe hoping for a caution here. As did Mikulski. Let's see. I don't know. He's out of pit road here.
I would say Mayatu just saw the 48 come back off the pit road. He's going to bring it down this time.
Yeah, probably. Mikulski out of pit road.
He's still out there. He's still putting the laps down.
Wow, I think now he's hoping for a caution, or maybe going to try what Seth Hatchell, his teammate, did. The real question is, what do we got, 42 laps to go? Or 38 laps to go now?
Yeah.
So,
if you say so. Math right now for me.
Like that.
Yeah, it's looking like 47, 48 laps. But Mayatu staying out there. I would say Joshua Banks. These guys are going to have to cycle here. The 40 laps, that's an eternity. 44 laps. There was your pole series. Back to 4th position after this all cycles out. I'm not exactly sure where he's going to end up, but tough break here for Ronnie Osmer. You know, just right at the start, the race didn't go his way.
Yeah, and it was so crucial for him to get out of pit or get some clean air on the start. And he just got loose into turn 1, and you know it's part of it with the way these race cars are and the way the side force is. It's just a part of it, and you can see he got loose here. Is now Keith Mayato finally bringing it into pit road here.
Smooth entrance on pit road. One of the first guys that I didn't see lock up the tires, but he's got a little right side damage too. That seems to be the case with every one of these guys. Yeah, a lot of these guys have gotten up into that outside wall. Right side damage on most of these machines. Jeremiah Vincent, who stayed out the longest on that last stint, he's still out there. Joshua Banks, Casey Lakatos, and it looks like the 9 of Vincent's going to bring it down pit road now. He got his lap led for the bonus point, but after it all cycles out.
As well. See, the Banks got his bonus points of leading a lap, so I believe Keith Mayato just dropped the jack. He's out of the box and going to be exiting. He's going to lose a few spots to Shieldhouse, Turner, Golly, Hatchel, Samar. Wow, he lost a lot of spots.
Yeah, he's going to have about 5-6 lap pressure tires, but I don't know that that's
a long way to go.
We'll see. Yeah, it's a long. We got a lot of laps. He can make that time up. If we have a caution.
Oh yeah, it's gonna hurt him if we get a caution. I don't. Like I said, I mean, right now I don't think the race is gonna be for the lead. Jeff Wright's just so far ahead. I know he's only 2 seconds ahead, but he's got way fresher tires than Turner, and he'll open that gap up. So.
Yeah, Yusuf Ghali about 3.6 seconds, and he's got a little bit of damage. Shieldhouse on the back bumper in 4th position, so we'll probably have a battle brewing up here within the next 5 laps or so between these two. And
yeah, I don't think Ghali's really got the grip on those tires, and I don't think that damage on the race car is probably hurting him a little bit. We'll see what happens.
Check in with Seth Hatchel too, and Samar. Those guys hit it a little bit later.
Ghali locked Shieldhouse there, and I don't think Shieldhouse is going to like that if he does that again. And Shieldhouse had to check up, costing him some time here.
Go back and take an instant replay of that. So yeah, Shieldhouse gets the run. Yusuf takes it down into 1 and makes sure he can't get that run. And yeah, that's.
We'll see if we go live back with Shieldhouse and Ghali here. See what happens here. It's going to take him a lap. It's funny. This track is so momentum-based, and 1 lap of losing momentum, it takes a whole other lap to get it back. So we'll see here. Shieldhouse, 2-lap fresher tires. Doesn't look like Ghali's going to make it easy on him here. So we'll see. He'll get a run here.
Exit of 2. He's got the run. He's going to take it all the way to the bottom of the track. He's letting them know.
He spun him, and he spins the 54 around. David Shieldhouse was having none of it.
Yellow flag comes out here on lap 89.
He was asking for it.
Oh boy. Well, this shakes things up.
Yeah, I mean, you block, and I think you pay for that one, honestly. That's really going to hurt Keith Mayato. Let's see. You can see Shieldhouse got the run here. He pokes down to the inside, and Ghali just comes straight down and blocks him, and David Shieldhouse was not lifting for him. And last week's winner goes around, and the caution out for the first time today, and I tell you who didn't want to see that is Jeff Wright, but he'll lead him down pit road as an onboard here with the 20 Heartbeat Hot Sauce Company Chevrolet Camaro, and that you can see Ghali just comes down the racetrack. Shieldhouse is there, and around goes to 54. And Bailey Turner up in second. He's the big gain out of that. Jeff Wright, something he definitely didn't want to see, and it's going to set us up for a 28-27 lap to go run. Is Wright into pit road. Tires jack up. Crew goes down to the left side. You obviously can't see it, but you know that there's work being done to these race cars. Right, look at Bailey Turner, a great pit stop for the 24 crew. Wright going to barely be able to edge out Turner. That's going to be a battle for third. Seth Hatchel gets third away from his teammate Samard. Gemmel out fourth, battled side by side with Hutton. Hutton down to 7th. And I'll tell you, you know who's staying out? Joshua Banks and Casey Lakatos.
Those guys had just cycled because they
They
pitted
just
a little bit
pitted,
later
too.
than everybody. Yeah, they got down into pit road as that yellow came out, so they didn't go a lap down either. They got about 4 laps on their tires. Maybe about 2 of them were hot. I think they're going to be okay.
Yeah, they got 2 laps on their tires, and that's going to cycle them out in front. And I'll tell you what, Jeff Wright hasn't been in traffic all day, and now he's going to have to restart behind the 35 of the Banks. Definitely something those boys, the teammates, the Joshua Banks team, their strategy is looking good here as he will be the 35 of Joshua Banks will cycle out to the lead. Casey Lakatos, his teammate, will be in second. And I believe the lucky dog was Max Cost.
Yeah, it's going to be the 63 of
No,
Max Costs, maybe going around.
no, it
or
was not.
Jeremiah
It was
Vincent.
Keith Mayato, I think they was getting damage fixed. He's up into the... Well, he's down to the 20th position. So I think Ronnie Osper was the lucky dog here. So,
The
4
turn of
cars.
events, though, for the 55,
Yeah.
man. He goes from the pole to a lap down, back on the lead lap. He's got some rear end damage. And, yeah, I mean,
4
cycle
cars.
these pit stops. We got about
4
22
cars.
guys on the lead lap.
Taking the wave here with the 39 of Emanuele. I believe that's Barrett. And then I think you got Jeremiah Vincent and Carey trying to get their way around back. So my question is, should we pull up somebody here? Should we pull up maybe Joshua Banks? Or how about we pull up Casey Lakatos?
Go for it.
Yeah, we haven't talked to him. Casey Lakatos, Alec Martinez at Bradley Cooper in the VSPEED booth. Got a copy?
Got a copy, sir.
Well, buddy, you and your teammate cycle up here to the front after a great pit stop call and the caution coming out. You're going to restart second here next to your teammate Joshua Banks. How are we feeling for this last run?
Well, I always feel pretty strong in Texas, and today it's feeling a little funky. I don't know if it's the driver tonight or if it's just the weather, but yeah, just not feeling like I got the full pace in the car like I wish, but hopefully we can do something here. I want to get a good finish here at Texas.
For sure, man. Well, keep that car clean. You got the track position now. Good luck and go get him.
Thanks, sir.
Casey Lakatos, first-time rookie in BTDY, running in second. Joshua Banks, his teammate, that Mac Tools Chevrolet Camaro up at the front. Casey Lakatos now holding the banner for the Toyotas up in second here. And I believe we'll get the 1 to green. Bradley, man, it's going to be wild. What is Jeff Wright willing to do? What is Jeff Wright? What is Bailey Turner, Seth Hatchell? What are these guys going to do?
I think Jeff has to go. He's got a lot of hungry cars behind him. You've seen Seth Hatchell, Chris Simmer, they've been fast all race long, turning faster laps than the leader at some point. If you're the 48, you're going to have to clear these front 2 as fast as you can. You know you've got a little bit of a tire advantage on them. Sending it down into 1, though. We saw the 55 struggle with that, and you can get loose really quick. These tires are cold. Everybody's kind of on the same playing field, so you just got to bide your time, be patient. Don't send it in too deep, and pick them off 1 at a time as the 48 has dominated this event. Now has traffic. He hasn't had that all race long, so this definitely shakes things up. You've got Hatchell, Bailey Turner, Chris Simmerd, Ryan Gimmel, and Eric Hutton, who's back in the top 10.
How about Kyle McGarvey in 9th, Alan Dice 10th? Their first time up in the top 10 this week. The real question is, you know, if I'm everybody else, I got to shuffle that 48 car out. I think we know he's the best car today. How are you going to shuffle him out? How are you going to allow him? How are these cars going to be able to drive in traffic? Joshua Banks, Casey Lakatos, they got track position, they got clean air. We've seen how tough it is to pass here. The pace car pulls off on strategy. The 35 and 50 will lead him back to green. Banks edging ahead into the Geico restart zone. He's off and away. Lakatos spins the tires, and it looks like Wright and Seth Hatchell able to get a good enough jump. Those slotted in second and third. Turner now back down to the inside of Lakatos.
3 wide there, just in the entrance of turn 1. It shuffles out really quickly. Lakatos is going to lose a ton of ground, fall back to the 5th position. Ryan Gimmel on the inside now, down the back straightaway. They're fanning out 3 wide all the way back to about 17th position. And that Heartbeat Hot Sauce machine of Shieldhouse in 10th, trying to get around these guys and make quick work of it.
Brody and Hayes are dooring each other in the middle of 3 and 4. They save it. I don't think Brody Hayes too happy with the 54. They'll make more contact down the front stretch. Brody Hayes into the outside wall, and there'll be no caution.
These guys shuffle around. The 54 gets by the 37. A little bit of contact there to get by him, but I tell you what, this blocking, it's going to get worse. It's not going to get any better.
No, it's not. But how about Joshua Banks able to hold off the best car here? He's got clean air. What is he doing to keep it? Jeff Wright, the fastest car, the undisputed fastest car of the night, getting a big run down the front stretch. How is Banks going to be willing to, how is he going to be able to hold him off right now down to the inside?
Jeff Wright going to take away what he feels is rightfully his. He's been dominating all race long, and now off of 2. He almost has the bumper clear, but a great run for the 35 down the backstretch. Neck and neck drag race down to 3 and 4. He's going to concede the spot, and now Seth Hatchell starts to move up.
Wasn't even a contest. That 48 car so fast. The Lowe's Chevrolet just so fast all over this racetrack. He's got the straightaway speed. He's got the corner speed. Banks able to hold off in second. Can he pressure right again? Seth Hatchell up to 3rd. Turner down to 4, or up to 4. But Ryan Gimmel now up inside the top 5.
Gimmel's kind of used that pick there with Casey Lakatos getting up on the outside, and he gets around the 77. So, yeah, Lakatos, maybe, I don't know if we put the pressure on him there, but that restart, that hurt him. That hurt him bad.
It really did. And here comes Shieldhouse to his underneath, to his inside. Noah Mikowski in the 10, battling with David Shieldhouse, the 2-time winner this season. Lakatos running Shieldhouse very tight into turn number 1, and out of turn 2. Shieldhouse moves up into 7th. Mikowski looking for 8th. Looks like he'll be side by side down the backstretch with Lakatos.
Lakatos is going to fall back to the 9th position. He's got Eric Hutton pulling up on the rear bumper for the 9th spot. And Lakatos is 11 laps. I mean, we're looking at it here. Joshua Banks is able to hold it up there in the top 3, and he's still up there right now, holding pace with Jeff Wright.
He's pushing that car, though.
Yeah, he is. I mean, that's what you got to do. We're almost at 20 to go. Yep.
And the question is he pushing Jeff to maybe push his tires a little bit more? And will that open the door up for Hatchell or maybe even Turner to save their tires?
It's definitely a better situation if you're 3rd, 4th position. You've got the same tires as the leader. You just don't want to get caught behind the 35. That's the problem.
If you're Seth, you got to get by Banks here and maybe get at least pressure right to know that now you got a car on equal tires behind you. But I tell you, Joshua Banks is doing a great job, at least holding up in 2nd here. I know he's stuck in air. The question is, can he pressure right enough to push those tires? As you can see, Banks catches the apron. This should allow Seth Hatchell to get a nice run off of turn 4. He watches up in the dirty air. But Hatchell set up a nice run. Where does he go? He looks outside. He'll look down to the inside. Banks goes to cover, but it's not going to be enough. Now here comes Hatchell down to his inside.
You just got to hold it down there. Can he get the run off of 2? That's been tough for guys all night long. The 35 doing a great job with those older tires. About 4-lap difference. But I think it's going to be Hatchell here in the 3.
It is, yeah, and he's got to make quick work. Oh, he slides at the racetrack. Here comes Bailey Turner down to the inside. Turner's going to get 3rd away from Banks. Now that sets up Gimmel and Stamar to try to capitalize on 4th. Banks trying to cross over Turner. It's just not going to be enough. Now Gimmel peeking down to the inside.
24, Bailey Turner has closed the door on the 35. He's going to catch up to Seth Hatchell, and they're trying to chase down this leader. Jeff Wright has been uncontested pretty much all race long. About 0.4 of a second as they go by here.
Oh, man, how about Noah Mikowski getting underneath David Shieldhouse? He almost got into the door. And now the battle for 5th raging on. Chris Samard gets by Ryan Gimmel and moved the 77 into the top 5. And now he'll look underneath Joshua Banks for the 4th position.
These guys have not settled down. We've got about 10 laps here on this stint. Less than 20 to go. If you've got tires, use them up.
I think Banks' tires are starting to fall off. We know he's got the oldest tires in the field so far, along with his teammate, and now Banks really just starting to fall off. Now Gimmel going underneath. He'll take the 5th position away. Shieldhouse, Mikowski running up on the 35 as well.
Yeah, the 35 is just not getting that run off the corner as Shieldhouse goes to the inside. You can see it off of 4. The 35 is struggling. He's probably getting really tight there on center off, and he's going to have to lift out a lot longer than these guys.
Yes, he is. And now it's Mikowski.
Mikowski is actually, boy, down, sending it down in the 3 and 4, down low. The 35 pinches his entrance, and I was just about to say Banks could still salvage a top 10 out of this. He's just got to be smart with it.
He's got to hold on. Oh, my gosh. Cuts right across the nose of Mikowski. Mikowski will try to cross over. He'll look down to the inside. Banks got to be really easy here to be careful. He doesn't get turned by the 10 because of the shallow entry, but the 10 and Mikowski able to get down to the inside. He'll be able to clear the 35. Now here comes Hutton, and here comes the 5 of Alan Dice. And the battle for fifth or fourth going on. The teammates, VSPEED teammates, Chris Samard, Ryan Gimmel going at it.
Samard just got around Gimmel, and now Gimmel wants it back. These guys coming off of turn 4, just in front of them. Bailey Turner getting by Seth Hatchell for the second position.
That's what Jeff Wright wants to see. He wants to see these guys battling, trying to pull away. Jeff Wright, I think, has led almost over 100 laps in this race. A dominant performance, 85. And if he can lead the rest of these laps, he will have led well over 100, or well, not well, but he'll have led over 100 laps here tonight in the Martin Sports 175. But he's almost opened that gap to a second. Exactly 100. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? It just goes to show you that if you make quick work of it, he did exactly what he needed to do. He raced smart. He let those guys kind of get out ahead of him, and then picked them off one at a time. He didn't waste a bunch of ground or waste his tires. He just let them make the mistakes, let the tires take over, and there he is, back to P1, 0.8 of a second. The 24 Bailey Turner, though, this is the first time that he's been able to get clean air. So let's see what he can do. He's still got a lot of time left.
Yeah, still plenty of time. 15 laps to go, coming to 14 laps to go. Has Bailey Turner saved enough tire to start catching the 48? We know how bad dirty air has been. Is it going to be good enough? As I believe Ryan Gimmel may have smacked the wall off of turn 4. He's lost one position to Samard. He's lost another to Shieldhouse, and he might lose a third to Noah Mikulski in the 10. 2 rows of side by side. The 10 almost getting by the 6, the 20 trying to get by the 77. Mikulski up in the 6th. Now the battle for the top 5. Chris Samard, Shieldhouse slides up the racetrack. Now it's going to allow the 10 of Mikulski to get closing in on these two side by side here down the front stretch. Is he willing to take them 3 wide? The rookie having himself a phenomenal run. How about Hutton now get into the picture?
Yeah, Hutton's kind of recovered, and he's back up there to the 7th position, getting by Gimmel right now. And I'll tell you what, Mikulski just showing the strength right now as he tries to get around Smart, and man, I'm impressed with the 10. He's following a guy.
This is an amazing run.
Look at who he's following though. He's following that line. I think he's learning a thing or two right now.
He's definitely learned a lot so far, and looks like he's got more pace than the 2-time winner this season, David Shieldhouse. Mikulski peeks nose down to the inside of Shieldhouse. Will he be able to force the 2-time winner into a mistake? These guys are actually starting to run down Seth Hatchell. Mikulski closes up on the back bumper of Shieldhouse. Just doesn't look enough. He'll peek down to the inside. He'll tuck back in line. And then you can see the 10 staying in 5th here.
That's
and how about Alan Dice?
Alan Dice is moving up, man. He was in 10th, and now he's in 8th. Look at the 5-car go as he approaches Eric Hutton. Affinity for Gaming, working it. I mean, late in this race, we didn't know who was going to be in the top 10. You never really know.
Yeah. And Bailey Turner, he's got 10 laps to go to run down Jeff Wright in the 48. He's closing up to almost about a half a second, but that dirty air is starting to kick in. Once you close into about a half second, you'll start feeling the dirty air of the car in front of you. And Jeff Wright, he's doing a phenomenal job being able to manage that gap between him and the 24.
Down to half a second now. It was about 0.8 when the 24 got around Seth Hatchell. I don't know, Bailey Turner, I think he's turning on. We'll see here. We've got about 9 laps to go. There's plenty of time to do it, but he's going to have to be perfect.
It really is. It's one thing to catch. It's another thing to pass, and I know Bailey Turner is not afraid to use the bumper if he can get up to Wright. But like we said, Wright's just been the class of the field tonight. He's led, like we said, if he can lead all these laps, he'll lead over 100. He's led well over 80 laps here in this race. He's done a phenomenal job being able to just keep the gaps that he's had. But now the camera on your screen, the battle for the 4th position. David Shieldhouse, the 2-time winner this season. He won at Homestead and he dominated. At Homestead, he dominated Iowa after Jeff Wright gave up the lead. And now the rookie Noah Mikulski having his career run in the BTDY Racing Series up inside the top 5. Chris Samard, Eric Hutton closing in on this battle as well. The battle in the top 10. Casey Lakatos able to get by his teammate. And how about the McGarvey brothers closing in on the top 10 as well. Kevin McGarvey, Kyle McGarvey in the 42. Looking down to the inside, he'll back off for the 35 of Banks. Now Kevin McGarvey in the 00 will try to close in as well.
Just impressed with Alan Dice, and I was going to mention Noah Mikulski following the 10 car or the 20 of Shieldhouse right now. I think this is smart. I don't think he's going to battle Shieldhouse. I think he's going to follow him.
I think he might want to.
He's going to have to eventually, but I think he tries to follow Shieldhouse up there to the 8. I think that's a smarter play here.
They better run down Hatcher quick is the question, because I mean he's still about a second or half a second ahead of Shieldhouse and about 0.6 of a second ahead of Noah Mikulski. So I just think they still got a long way to go, and I think if it comes to it, oh, Samard hits the wall, and that allows Hutton and Alan Dice.
Alan Dice got to pick off another one, get up to the 7th position, and he's all over the back bumper of Eric Hutton now as they come off a 4.
Oh, hit the apron.
Little exit speed there. That's okay. That's okay. You just got to gather it back up. Dice having a phenomenal run here. Mikulski definitely called it. He's looking at a top 5 here tonight. But you said that they better catch Seth Hatchell. They're catching him. .4 of a second separating these two. Bailey Turner's got it down to 0.3 of a second. We're shaping up for a couple different battles here on the racetrack.
Yeah.
Jeff Wright. Oh boy, this is going to get good.
Yeah, 5 laps to go on the board. The dominant car of the day, Jeff Wright. He's led them all pretty much. Bailey Turner has ran him down to 0.3 of a second. But now the problem is Turner is in the air bubble. Can he overcome it? Can he even get close enough to Wright to maybe give him the bumper? Seth Hatchell is a 1.5 seconds behind. Shieldhouse 2 seconds. Mikulski 2.3 seconds behind. Can Bailey Turner pressure Wright into a mistake?
We've got less than 5 to go. Coming off of turn 4, Jeff Wright, the dominant car. Bailey Turner trying to take it away. 0.2 of a second separating them. This lead dwindles down lap after lap. And Jeff Wright knows he's got to maintain this gap. Give him some dirty air. The exit of 2.
Hey,
Another great run for the 24.
Turner is putting on the jets. He's giving it all he's got. Remember, Jeff Wright had to get around Joshua Banks. He had to put, and Banks even put some pressure on Wright. Couldn't have burned up his tires. Bailey Turner gets a nice run. Now he'll have the draft down the front stretch. 3 laps to go for the Lone Star State. Here comes Bailey Turner.
Turner's going to drive it down deep into 1, get a great entry into it, and now he's going to get the great run off. Let's see if he can do anything with it.
He's got a nice run. Will he try to loosen up the 48, the 24, the 48, and 2 iconic numbers going at it. Turner peeks down to the inside. Not going to be enough. Here comes Wright. He hits the apron. He knocks it loose. Turner hits the apron, knocks it loose. Both stay steady. 2 laps to go from Texas.
48 of Jeff Wright. He's got the pressure on now. He has to be smart. He can't overdo it. This is going to be a run here for Turner.
Oh, it's going to be a nice run. Oh, he lost the nose in air, though. And it looks like Wright kind of got a little bit tight there off in the middle of 1 and 2, but Turner still trying to put pressure on him. They're coming to the white flag, the battle for 3rd and 4th, staying steady. Doesn't look like there's going to be a caution. Turner trying to get some clean air to his nose. White flag in the air. 1 more lap to go from Texas. Can Turner get him?
The run off of 4 here. He peeks to the inside. Does he have enough momentum to carry that into turn 1? Gets right up on the bumper, and he's going to use it. He uses it.
He moved him up, but it's not going to be enough.
Not enough touch. He's going to try it again in 3 and 4. I guarantee it if he can get his nose back there.
He tried, but it wasn't enough. Into turn 3 and 4 for the final time. The dominant car of the day, Jeff Wright. Can he hold off Turner? Turner trying to get some clean air. He loses the nose. It's not going to be enough. Off of turn 4, Jeff Wright dominates and gets his 2nd win at the Lone Star State. Jeff Wright wins the Martin Schwartz 175 from Texas.
Congratulations to Jeff Wright. Excellent job holding off Bailey Turner for those closing laps. And we're going to go back and look at that bumper. We had a little bumper action there. I'll tell you what, that was some fine racing by these guys.
What a race. Alan Dice. How about Noah Mikulski getting his first career top 5 in the BTDY Racing Series? A shout out to him. But how about this battle for the lead with 2 to go? Bailey Turner was coming. He had the pace. But man, what a race here from Texas. What a battle for the lead. A lot better racing than I was expecting.
Yeah, the closing laps, no one contesting the 48. We have the late race caution that brings these guys grouped back up. And it took the 24 all 35 laps of that run to get to the bumper of Jeff Wright, just to be
Maybe
there.
he'll just do 1 more is the question. You'll see the big run he'll get into turn 3. He tried his best here to move the 48. He just couldn't get it there. I think this is with 2 to go, actually. I don't know if you want to skip maybe a lap ahead. But what a battle. Yeah,
This
why
battle-
not? Why not?
Yeah, I mean, it went on for a solid 3 laps, and the 24 just all over the bumper. I know Jeff Wright probably burning it down here, but we'll definitely, we're gonna get the top 3 up here momentarily. I just gotta credit these guys because that was a great show.
Yeah, amazing racing here. I told you these guys are gonna put on the best show they could, and you can see he'll come into the corner. He gives him a nice little tap there. It looked like he moved him up enough, but I think Bailey just lost the nose there in air, and it was about as light as a tap as you could give Jeff, or that he gave Jeff to not spin him out. So, props to Bailey Turner for trying a clean move. Man, he almost got in. As we'll cut to a live shot. Jeff Wright, his second win of the season. I think he led over 100, or what did he lead? 100 exactly, 100 laps. So
101 there.
101, right
Yep,
over,
you
right
said,
over
you
there.
said over 100 laps. You were correct.
How about
Perfect
it, Jeff
job.
Wright? Second win of the season, and I believe he'll single-handedly inherit the points lead over Yusuf Ghali, AJ Servato, and Ben Bafford. We'll be right back. We'll go to a quick commercial break. Stick around for the interviews here from the top 3, Jeff Wright, Bailey Turner, and Seth Hatchell.
Oh, big wiggle. And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out the 37.
Oh! Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A push for the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins an Auto Club. Here comes Bentley Glacier. Does he time the move? He goes high. Shavana Black turns the 33.
Contact there entering turn 1.
Around goes the 9. Oh, he comes back up the track and he gets clobbered. Josiah picks it up into the air.
We're walking down pit road right now with Alec Martinez. He's catching up to the 3rd place finisher, the 8 of Seth Hatchell. I think we got
Let's
audio
see if I
with
can
him.
get him here. There we go. Seth Hatchell, Alec Martinez, Bradley Cooper in the VSPEED booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Well, Seth, bringing home P3. You started 6th. Yeah, you had some speed there. What more did you need to maybe keep second and then maybe chase down Jeff right at the end?
Yeah, I ended up just need to save a little bit more. I knew Jeff was stupid quick the whole race, so that last run, I got to second. I was really pushing hard to try and get by him and hope for a caution, or hope even just with the dirty air be able to hold him off. So just need to save a little bit there at the end. But pretty happy with the finish. It was sort of up and down all day. I had good speed, but I could make pretty good speed if I pit later than a lot of the guys. But then I'd spend most of the run trying to pass them all, so it was a bit risky. But yeah, not too bad coming home with 3rd.
For sure, man. Well, next week we go down to the Tricky Triangle in Pocono, Pennsylvania. How do you feel about going out there next week?
It should be interesting. I haven't raced these things there in a long time, but I had pretty good success there with the Gen 6 and next gen. So it'll be really interesting. 3 unique corners, a lot to put into a driver's hands. But you also, you have the huge straightaway, so you have draft too. So it's a bit of best of both worlds. So it'll be pretty cool.
For sure, man. Well, we look forward to seeing you out there in Pennsylvania. Have yourself a wonderful night. But before we let you go, I forgot. Anybody want to give a shout out to you tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for doing a great job with the broadcast. I got to thank my team VSPEED. Got to thank Nick, all the admins doing a great job with this league, all the drivers putting on a great race. and all the sponsors of the league, including Martin Sports, for sponsoring the race tonight.
For sure, man. Well, again, congrats on the P3. We will see you next week out in Pennsylvania. Have yourself a wonderful night.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Seth Hatchell, P3 here on the night of Texas. I'll move down pit road. If I get a Bailey Turner, Alec Martinez, Bradley Cooper in the VSPEED booth, got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Well, Bailey, you had a great run. You come home second 2 weeks in a row. Or wait. Did you get third last week or second?
P3.
Yeah, P3. My bad. My apologies. But you come home, you get second here tonight. What more did you need to maybe get Jeff right there at the end?
Qualifying talent at the beginning would have been nice. Starting P14 on the field there on a track that, is just tough to pass in general. Was tough, but I felt like I had that pace really all day, that long run pace. I felt like a lot of guys kind of hit a cliff with 10 laps to go in the run before the cycle would start, and I all of a sudden gained 6-7 tenths by the time it cycled through, or before it was cycling, and just dirty air in these cars, man. It's tough. Single lane, dirty air, and I caught Jeff there, and I was just trying to bide my time, and I knew if I could get position on him, going into 4, I had him, but he took such a wide entry there. I knew that he was going to choke me off on exit and kind of, give me all that dirty air and kill my run. So I knew I had to, see if I can move him up the track a little bit. But, at the same time, you look at, the situation last week with the leaders getting wrecked from contact and stuff like that. You don't want to do that, especially someone like Jeff that's always raced me pretty clean. So try to give him enough contact to see if it would slip him up the track a little bit and I can get a nose underneath him. But it just wasn't meant to be, not enough air, as you would say, Alec.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But you know what? I'll tell you, I know it looked like it was tough to pass out there with the dirty air, but next week I think we go to a track that might be harder. I would say harder, but hard to pass, but maybe a little bit easier than here out in Pocono. How do you feel about going out there?
You said Pocono next?
Yes, Pocono.
Yeah.
The tricky triangle, if you so will.
I think the next gen package is so fun, and saving fuel there is always fun too. Getting that win last season, and we'll see. I think it's going to be more of the same. I think you're going to have to, if we get some long runs here, you're going to see guys burn off their tires, and you can't push and bump draft as much in these cars. So it's really, I think it's a little more in the hands of the driver there. But same kind of deal, saving tires, making sure it's cycle right, and dirty air is going to be another story next week. So clean car, just like I said last week, if you have a clean car, I think I can bring these home anywhere in the top 3 each week. So congrats to Jeff. It was fun working with Adam Cabot. He was on the box today and coming back. I think it's his first time on iRacing in like 2 months. So good to see him, and just happy to bring it home P2.
For sure, man. Well, before we let you go, I got to ask you, does anybody want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, you guys on the broadcast always doing a great job. It's always fun to go back and kind of watch these, all the sponsors for the league. I'm sorry if I'm blanking on some of them, but I know Martin Sports and admins do a great job with everything. I think the real story here should be more day races, a little inside joke going on in the league. So let's keep it up.
I think next week we'll have a day race out at Pocono. But again, congratulations on your second place finish, and maybe you'll get one spot better next week, and we'll see you down in Pennsylvania next week, brother.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, have a good one. Bailey Turner, second place finisher, and I believe Bradley. He's down in victory lane with tonight's winner, the dominant winner, Jeff Rutt. Let's see if we can get him in here.
Well, we've caught up with him. We're down here in a big celebration going around. Jeff Wright, you're able to hold off the 24 Bailey Turner and a little bumper action into 1, but it didn't slip you up, and you came home P1.
Yeah, it was close. That was definitely nerve-wracking there at the end. I know for the guys that I didn't have to deal with it too much, but dirty air was bad tonight. Thankfully, we qualified up front and we were able really to get the lead early. Kind of just gifted the lead just because the leaders kind of slid up, got loose, and I was able to sneak around. But so when that caution came out and Joshua Banks was leading the race, I got to kind of feel what that dirty air was like that everybody else was having to deal with while I was enjoying the clean air for a while. So no, it was tough. I felt like I was pretty disciplined on keeping the tires underneath me for the first 2 runs. And then when I got back in traffic, got a little bit antsy and I wanted to go get the lead quickly because I was just worried another caution was going to come out, and restarts are crazy. And I think I pushed him a little bit too hard there. Bailey got back to my bumper there. Bailey's always a good long run anyway, but yeah, thank you for not wrecking me, Bailey. That was that got me up out of my seat a little bit, but yeah, awesome to win here at Texas. Definitely not one of my favorite tracks or best tracks. I don't think anybody really likes Texas, to be honest with you, just because of how difficult it is to pass, how line sensitive. But yeah, it's awesome to get another win.
Yeah, we had 28 laps in that stint. And it took Bailey the entirety of that just to get to your bumper. And that dirty air, like you said earlier, that the dirty air, you experienced that being kind of stuck there in that last restart. Can you describe the difference it was driving in the clean air all race and then just being behind a guy for 10 laps?
Yeah, I mean, when I was behind him, I drove in kind of like I was all race, and the difference is, your front end just doesn't grip up, it doesn't turn, it just pushes, and so you got to find, other methods on how to try to get a run on somebody. Thankfully he was on, worse tires than us, so we were still in a good spot in terms of the tires. I don't know how many laps on his tires he had, but I think he stayed out front, for 5, 6, 7 laps, something like that, which I kind of thought that because of my tire advantage, I'd be able to get around him quickly. But that wasn't the case. I sat behind him for quite a while, burned my stuff up a little bit, eventually got around him. And I think I was talking to Bailey, shortly here after the race. And he told me, he said, yeah, I saw you were going up there and, scorching your stuff up. So I'm just going to sit back here and save my stuff. And it just almost worked out for him. So yeah, definitely not fun to be in dirty air at Texas. This is probably the worst track for dirty air. So I'm just glad it didn't cost me the race there, because it very well almost did.
Well, 2 wins this season and 101 laps led. Jeff Wright, do you have anybody you'd like to thank for tonight's victory?
Yeah, thank you guys for the broadcast as always. Thank you all league admins that put this on every Tuesday night. Give us a league to come race. It's been a lot of fun. We have a lot of good guys this season, and really large car fields as well. So that's always really fun to race in. Shout out to Reggie. He was helping me with just kind of, giving me some tips on, what I needed to do a little bit differently when I was struggling behind Banks, because for a while there I was like, we're in trouble here. And he kind of, gave me some tips on how to drive it off a little bit. He had a good race going as well, but speeding penalty got him, unfortunately, tonight, which I know a thing or two about speeding penalties. I think I've had 2 or 3 myself this year, so that's not fun. He definitely was going to be competitive tonight. But yeah, just appreciate everybody involved to make these things happen. It was a lot of fun, and looking forward to next week.
It's in for on that. We appreciate your time, and going to Pocono next week. Maybe we'll get to talk to you again.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Bradley.
Congrats, Jeff.
Appreciate you, man.
Okay, so that's wrapping it up here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway. Let's go through your finishing order, and we'll bring up that on the screen. These buttons tonight, they're everywhere. Tell you what, but here we go. We got the race results toggled up here. Jeff Wright, your winner. Bailey Turner, he tried like crazy, and he got to the bumper, but just not enough there for the second place finisher. Seth Hatchell able to hold on to third. David Shieldhouse in 4th position, and a career day for Machowski. He just excellent run for him in the top 5.
Oh, absolutely. Heck of a shout out to Noah Mikowski. So definitely the story of tonight, other than Jeff Wright.
Eric Hutton's going to bring it home in 6th position. And how about Alan Dyson 7th, Chris Simmerd in 8th. Lakatos, he's able to hold on for that top 10 on those old tires. He even held on better than his teammate who fell out later. And then Ryan Gimmel going to round out your top 10.
And in 11th, we had Joshua Banks, who tried that strategy. He led a few laps, but then trickled down the field, finished outside the top 10. He'll finish home 11th. 12th was Kyle McGarvey. 13th, just tough rebound there for Keith Biato. 14th, Kevin McGarvey. 15th, Yusuf Ghali, after getting spun off the nose of David Shieldhouse. He'll bring it home inside the top 15. Dallas Sullivan will be home in 16th. Jordan Shepler, 17th. Eric Lambert, 18th. Ronnie Osmer, the pole sitter, 19th and 20th. Nick Starling.
Tough break for Osmer, and he's starting first, man. First lap, first turn. That's a tough break for him. Justin Carey is going to be in the 21st position. Jeremiah Vincent in 22nd. Reggie Ortega, he had a tough night tonight in 23rd. Zachary Smith, 24th. Max Koss, 25th. Timmy Emanuele in 26th position. Kevin Barrett, 27th. Mark McFadden, 28th. Cody Atkins, 29th. And Brody Hayes will be your 30th place driver. Round out that field there, we've got 2 more guys. My pick tonight, really tough show for him. Bentley Glacier ends up 31st position, and then Kyle Payne, 89 laps down here for him tonight. Actually, 51 laps down. Unfortunate for Kyle. He's gonna finish from the pits. So it was a great show. I had a good time. What did you think of that?
Thought that was a pretty dang good race for Texas Motor Speedway. Heck of a run from Bailey Turner to get up to Jeff Wright and at least make it a little interesting, and giving him a bumper there. And you never know, the bump and run always works in these stock cars. But can't give a big enough shout out to Noah Mikulski. A heck of a run, career run, like you said. And maybe it's just a sign of things to come in the future. Maybe Mikulski figured it out, and you know what? He had some great speed today. So shout out to him. Great racing all around. I hate that I'm not going to be in the booth next week, but I'm really looking forward to, oh, sorry, if you're watching the Coke race, just saw the whole field get turned, but really looking forward to watching the racing with these guys next week, and being a part of this series. So looking forward to that. I think Adam will be up in the booth with you. If not, I hate to say it, but you'll be going solo next week. But like I said, looking forward to racing with these guys next week, to be a part of the action at Pocono, one of my favorite tracks. So I'm looking forward to that. But again, great racing tonight. Shout out to Jeff Wright as well. Absolute domination out of that 48.
Mikulski out there in the chat, he says he was being too nice, but I tell you what, man, you were patient. You did what you needed to do, and 5th position's nothing to hold your head down about. That's a sign of things to come. Keep finishing there, and a win's just around the corner. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's broadcast, brought to you here on VSPEED BTDY, wrapping up race number 6 at Texas Motor Speedway. Next week, going to be going to Pocono, 8:35, going live. Hope you guys can make it there as we watch Jeff Wright burn it down one final time and wrap it up here at Texas. Appreciate you guys. Take care, everybody.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey Street Fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out the 37.
Oh! Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A push for the 33.
It's a drag race.
The